It's March 10, 2025. We start the meeting at 6:10. A joint protection of personnel and protection subcommittee town council meeting. Veteran room. Call to order. Roll call. Councilor Ortiz.
Present.
Councilors Rivas not here. Just trying to recover the citizen member Dave Adam.
Here.
Citizen members Mr. La Rochelle is not here. Okay. We have a forum, I believe. Agenda 3. Review, discuss the town manager appointment of Tracy L. Price of Sturbridge, Mass. as a special traffic constable based on the police chief recommendation for a 3-year term effective immediately through June 30, 2028. State Attic is in good standing and entertain a motion to submit to town council for confirmation.
So moved.
Second.
If I could through you, Mr. Chair, good evening. Currently, we have 20 traffic constables that are working. We try to keep that number at around 30. We have millions and millions of dollars of road work being done over the next couple of years, so we need to try to boost our numbers. Some of the requirements, in case there's any questions: public safety, some kind of connection with public safety, retired police, fire, current fire, dispatches, military experience. We take it on a case-by-case basis. Ms. Price, who's here tonight, has 7 years in the Air Force for her experience. She's completed all the required training as far as CPR and the flagger course. She's extremely familiar with the area. She works locally. She lives right over the town line. She'll be readily available all summer, and I highly recommend her.
Thank you. Anybody have any? Anybody from the? No. So, Councilor Marquardt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. I don't have any problem. I know that you hire these people to do the traffic study, watch the traffic in town, make sure that everything is safe and everything. But recently, I've been driving around town where road work is taking place, and I see two people who are supposed to be directing traffic. Instead, they're looking down in the hole. So all I want to make sure is that when you hire people, that you stress to them in no uncertain terms, their job is to direct traffic, not look down in the hole. They're getting paid a lot of money. Whoever's paying for it, sometimes private, sometimes public, their job is to direct traffic. That's all I have. Thank
You heard the council, and if I could, if that's happening, please call me. You know how to reach me.
you. But Chief,
We'll
I know
take care
you're
of it
busy.
immediately.
I know you're busy,
I
and
know,
I'm
but-
busy too. I don't think I need to call you every single time I see it.
Understood.
But I have seen it recently, and it just, I don't like to see that.
I feel the same way about it, so I appreciate it.
Councilor Marquardt, you have, you're right on that. Once a while happen, but I'm sure the chief educate his staff well, but he can't just babysit everyone sit in the corner. That's why he need help from us if we can. You know, it could be happen you going by and that, you know. But I'm sure he's doing best as he can to educate everyone on his department and working for him. Thank you. Anybody else?
Or no, Ms. Price had anything to say?
Anything you'd like to say? We're all in favor?
You're welcome.
All in favor? 3-0. Thank you. Agenda 4. Review, discuss the town manager appointment of Jason W. Cantera of Charlton, Mass. as a special traffic constable based on the police chief recommendation for a 3-year term effective immediately through June 30, 2028. State Attic in good standing. Entertain a motion to council for confirmation.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, Chief, please.
Through you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Cantera will be here tonight. He has a family member in the hospital. Some significant issues going on right now in his family life, so I told him to stay home. Mr. Cantera, most of the people in this room probably know him. He was born and raised here. Spent 29 years in the Salvage Fire Department, achieved the rank of lieutenant. He left, went over to Charlton Fire Department, where he was a deputy chief for a couple of years. He has a master's degree. He's extremely well qualified. He still works locally every day for Memorial Funeral Home. He's had a local business here for more than 30 years, that he owned and operated. Highly qualified. I highly recommend him.
Thank you. Any comment? Anybody? All in favor? 3-0. Agenda number 5, review, discuss the agreement with Public Safety Coastal LLC in the amount of $8,140 to conduct an center to fill the rank of sergeant and authorize the town manager to sign all related paperwork. Entertain a motion to vote to recommend the town council ratify this agreement.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Chairman.
Chair.
If I may, as you're aware, there is a vacant sergeant's position in the police department. This is a process that we've used in the past. Through the chief, with the chief, we put out a proposal to request for proposals for companies to provide the assessment center. We sent it out to the 3 companies that, and I posted it as well. And 2 companies responded. This was the lowest and responsible bid. They're highly qualified and recommend moving forward to establish the list for sergeant. And let the chief answer any other questions.
Chief, you like to say?
Yeah, just if I could, just because there probably will be some questions. So this is a promotional exam to fill it, like the town manager had said, a budget in an existing position for the rank of sergeant. The vacancy is a result because we had an employee that resigned to get out of law enforcement altogether. They no longer want to be in our business. Assessment centers, they're controlled by civil service. They were done for the chief and the lieutenant jobs in 2016. We used them to fill sergeant ranks in 2018, 2019, 2022, 2023. We used them again in 2023 for lieutenant. It's going to take a few months to complete, but we are in urgent need of a supervisor on every shift, especially as we approach summer. What will happen after the assessment center, if this is approved, an eligible list will be created by civil service based on the results of this assessment center. Once it's certified by civil service, per the statute, we interview the top 3 scores for the position in accordance with all the process, rules, and regs of civil service. It's fair, it's equitable. Every eligible patrol officer that works for our department has at least a year of experience can take it. We hope to have around 5 patrol officers take it. I'm not worried about it if anybody fails, because that's not really how it works. I think you asked me that the last time, and I got it, my memory. They start at the score of 70 and they go up from there with assessment centers. Back in the day, it was a written exam, a statewide exam. I've done both. It had a high failure rate. Basically, you had a kid taking, or a candidate taking a sergeant test in Boston, was taking the same test that the kid in Southbridge is taking. It just didn't match what happens in the community. Assessment measures, it's more geared for each individual city or town. That's why I'm a big fan of them. They're good for 2 years. So once this test is established, it's an eligible list for 2 years. Again, it's all budgeted, it's all existing, and we're not going to go over 40 police officers.
Thank you. Anybody like to ask a question? Councilor Marquetti?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I thought if we were civil service, we didn't have to hire an assessment company to do the testing. I thought that civil service tests, $150 or something like that. You take the test, you certainly are qualified. Town manager, you have some experience in law enforcement, and I thought that was all we needed to do.
Through you, Mr. Chip, we used to do testing that way. I made sergeant and lieutenant that way. It's a statewide test. One's given in May, one's given in September every year. Still, that's offered. But most cities and towns in the state, I would say 70% now, do assessment centers through civil service. They come down, they record everything, they make sure there's no nepotism or any issues. And what happens is it just gives you a better measure of what that person is made of in that community. Because like I had said, a person in Boston who's going to be a sergeant has a vastly different role than a sergeant here. So the statewide test that we were all taking, 10,000 people at a time, it was the same metric you were all being measured on, and it just didn't make any sense. So civil service now allows either the statewide written or a civil or a assessment center. You can do either option.
All right.
But it's still monitored and controlled by them. So everything's still the same. It's just a more accurate testing measure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? All in favor? 3-0. Agenda 6, review, discuss a police department transfer request of $8,140 from account 001210-511000, salary to account 001210-53, 0000, specialized service for the purpose of conducting the assessment center for the position of sergeant. Entertain a motion to recommend the town council for approval.
Second?
Uh,
And again, through you, Mr. Chair, this will essentially be a transfer from our salary account. We're currently 2 police officers short. We have been 2 police officers short for a few months now. We're working on filling those positions, so there'll be no request for additional money. This is just moving money from the salary account to specialized services.
Thank you.
And
Any-
additionally, the sergeant's position is vacant, so you have actually 3 vacancies.
Yes, well, 2 bodies, 3 positions, yes.
Any question? All in favor? 3-0. Agenda 7, review, discuss the town manager transfers request for fund account 0842 Captain Stabilization and the amount of 38,000 to account 64210 Police Capital in the amount of 20,000 and I don't know, account maybe?
Yes.
64220 Fire Capital in the amount of 18,000 for the proposal of mobile computer and associated hardware software, 5 MDT-police and 3 ambulance. Entertain a motion to recommend the town council for approval.
Second.
Thank you.
Town manager?
Through you, first, the police chief had come to me. He had 5 MDT mobile data terminals that are desperately needed for cruises that were no longer operable. Police officers are in their cruises, that is their office. They're on the road 24/7, all 3 shifts. Those are used to run police warrant checks, registrations, do a multitude of work in the field. They were desperately needed. Likewise, Deputy Chief Hewlick and the chief had submitted a memo also with, in the ambulance, the 3 computers that they use for patients when they're out on the road. They use that for all of their records for their run sheets are all through the computer system, and part of that is that the patient actually has to sign off on it. They have the computer right there, and that those are not functioning. The question was, do we wait until May and put it as part of the capital, given the fact that it is a desperate, critical need? My thought process was, they offered to take money out of their existing budgets. I'd rather do this through capital stabilization, let whatever budget funds remain at the end of the year close out to free cash. We do have the amount of money in free cash. I do know that I had sent documentation. I know Council Marquetti has asked this numerous times, and we've been working on closing out old capital accounts. I have highlighted capital accounts, including a large $295,000 on DPW capital vehicles that we would close out in the next several weeks. I transmitted this list right here that has all highlighted that I went through, that closeout projects were completed. That accounts to about $415,000 that we will transfer from closed out accounts back to capital stabilization. But my thought is, this is desperately needed. They are public safety. It is critical need at this time, so let's get them ordered, and then we'll present the whole comprehensive capital plan and budget.
Makes sense.
Any comment, any question? All in favor? 3-0. Agenda number 8, review, discuss, applying and accepting the FY25 Massachusetts Firefighter Safety Equipment Grant, Phase 2, and authorize the town manager to sign all related paper. Entertain a motion to vote to recommend the town council for approval.
Second.
Uh,
I'll refer to the chief on it.
Good evening, everybody, through the chair. This is the second round of the firefighter safety equipment grant. Last November, we did the grant and received a little under $18,000 for the grant. This is through the Department of Fire Services. The grant, the full grant needs to be completely used by the end of June of this year. So this is the remaining monies that people didn't use across the Commonwealth. So we were awarded, we will be looking to get awarded a little over $9,000 for this grant. And we're going to continue, actually this will finish out our purchases of bulletproof vests for all of our staff. It's going to be sized and fitted, and moving forward from there, so.
Any question here first?
No, go ahead, Mike.
Councilman McKay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you. So why wouldn't you use this grant for the computers? I mean, I'm thinking of guys that are driving around in ambulance. Why would they need a bulletproof vest? I mean, it's the police that would be going to any situation. Sure, you have an answer for me, but I can't see why you wouldn't want to use this on the computers.
So first, through the chair, first part is that you can't use the computers on this, it's not available on the list.
All right?
So there's number one. Number
That
two,
answers my question.
no, well, the number two is very important, because the police department and fire department over the last year, under NFPA 3000, has trained going in together. We go together, we put tourniquets on, they kill the bad. We'll save lives with that, so it is part of the old days are gone. The EMTs and firefighters don't stay outside. They go in with a crew of police officers and go and get them.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
Go ahead.
It's a quick question, Chief. On the vests themselves, did you say it covers everybody? It's covering everybody that you have on staff?
Through the chair, yes, the first round was 30 sets of gear, so that we've already put the order in for that, and this is the 11 sets of gear, to include the call department.
Okay, you guys had bulletproof vests before.
Correct.
What happened with those?
We still have those in service, we're gonna wait till the new ones come in. They're not sized, they're just generic.
Not purchased?
Yeah,
I've
and
never
they're coming
bought
up to
them.
the end of their life, it's about 5 years.
Yeah, and the next question, how many years before they expire?
These are 10.
10 years at a time? Okay. All right. Now, if they get hit at any time, you don't use them anymore, do you?
No.
Okay. All right, that's all I got, thanks.
Any other question? All in favor? 3-0. Agenda 9.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Thank you.